Welcome to the Fill Your Cups podcast. We're your hosts, Morgan
and Bailey.
Hey guys, happy summer. It is officially summer. It's been like 90 plus degrees lately and the sun is out, and we are really excited to do kind of a summer ins and outs episode. We did do 2025 ins and outs at the beginning of the year, and that just kind of gave us the idea to do this again for the summer and kind of intentionalize our summer that way. Last year we did a bucket list episode, and that was a lot of fun, and people really liked that. But we didn't actually get a lot of the stuff on our bucket list done.
I know. Yeah. So we thought about doing a bucket list again, but then you were like, I mean, there's just so many things I didn't cross off last year that I don't want to put more on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the idea of focusing more on what's in and what's out, just like we did at the New Year.
Yeah.
Which was so fun. It was more like an intentional.
Yeah. Just
kind of
setting
thing.
your intentions. So
Yeah.
before we get into the episode, what's filling your cup?
I've got just some water today. I am just dehydrated and pooped.
Yeah.
So I think water was all I needed today.
Yeah. I have a ginger ale Zevia. I have been chugging water today, but I do have a ginger ale Zevia. So.
Yum.
And then I know we have a shout out. Let me pull it up.
We do. Yes. We, like always on our Fridays, we do our Fill Your Cup Fridays where we ask our followers what has been filling your cup this week. And we did get an awesome response. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the Social Work Scoop said, I checked out a new coffee shop and tried their mango matcha. It was really good. And we really loved that they tried something new. I love matcha, so I love that they tried the matcha and that they actually ended up liking it.
Yes, it reminds me of our novelty effects episode that we did about like trying new things, changing up your days, changing up the way you're doing things all the time. And it just helps like prolong your days and your memories and experiences.
Yeah.
And so it reminded me of that when I saw it, because I was like, oh my God, a new place and a new matcha, and you liked it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Social Work Scoop. That is, I know my friend Mandy has a social work Instagram account, and it's the Social Work Scoop. And so you should definitely give it a follow if you don't. It's got a lot of good mental health stuff. And whatnot,
and a lot of like uplifting tips and things like that.
Yeah.
I like that account.
Yes. So we are going to dive right into the episode.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of be going back and forth on our ins and outs, mine and Bailey's, and we'll just kind of go back and forth. And the goal of this episode is that it'll help you get brainstorming. And if you don't automatically have ins and outs that you can think of right off the top of your head, feel free to snag some of ours, steal some of ours, and make your own list. We definitely want to set our intentions for summer because I feel like summer is such a fun season.
It is.
But it goes by fast.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, when I'm approaching a season or like the holiday season or something like that, I really, really want to be mindful about, okay, what things do I want and what things do I not want in this season? Because otherwise I just kind of feel like things come at you and you're just kind of going by the wayside and you're not being intentional.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like setting the intentions and deciding, okay, this is what's in, this is what I want to focus on, and this is what's out, this is what I don't want to focus on, also helps me to be more present in the season because I'm doing the things that I actually want to be prioritizing, and I'm deprioritizing the other things.
Yeah, I completely agree. Whenever we did our 2025 ins and outs, I actually wrote them down on a piece of paper and like taped it to my mirror. So I see it every morning and I love seeing it. And I like asking myself, like, am I doing that? Like, or are there some outs that I feel like I am still doing that I need to take out? So I'm going to do the same thing with my summer ins and outs. And maybe like cutesy it up and just put it on there. So that way it can just be a good reminder. And we talked about this whenever we did our summer bucket list, which was our second episode.
Oh my God.
That we ever did. Isn't that crazy?
It was a fun one.
It was a really fun one. It got a lot of, I don't know. I felt like I got a lot of positive feedback because we talked about how as adults, like what you said, summer could just like pass you by all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I feel like we will always be on like the school schedule kind of thing.
Yeah.
Once school gets out, that's whenever it really feels like summer. So like end of May kind of thing. But then it feels like it's over in August. And it just feels like during those 2 months, it just flies. And like you don't really get to take advantage of it. You're still stuck doing the same thing that you do every single day. And like it's just hot. So that like kind of sucks. but we want to make it fun. We want to like get back to, making life fun and making sure we're enjoying ourselves and doing what we want to do. So yeah, I think that I get really excited for summer episodes. I always feel like they just bring such good vibes.
Yeah, such good energy. And I really liked seeing what other people were putting on their list last year.
Yes.
And so we will make another template that you can use to set your ins and outs. We do have one for the 2025 year that we made at the beginning of the year. And I know I saw people use that to establish their ins and outs, but we'll make some and share them on our Instagram as well. So you can make your own ins and outs for the summer and stick with them.
Let's get into it then. What is your first in for the summer?
Yes. So I had this on my bucket list last year, but it just is something that I love doing in the summer. And already I'm doing a pretty good job with it. But live music or concerts, like that's just that's such a summer activity to me, is especially like the outdoor ones. I love going to outdoor concerts, but just in general, live music and concerts.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. And yeah, you keep finding them. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, what's that one you just found with Shaylin?
Is it Hot Country Nights? Is that
no, Colonial Gardens. Didn't you find out that they're doing?
Yes. So every Wednesday they do free live music, and you can order drinks or food if you want, but it's just in the garden, like it's a greenhouse. So it's so pretty and fun and just vibey. There's also, I have started. See, this is the other thing that's good about setting ins and outs is once you set them, like your brain looks for what I say that all the time, that your brain confirms beliefs that you already believe to be true. Yeah. Or like kind of confirmation bias. It looks for the things that you already believe to be true. And so I've noticed that with like the concerts and stuff, this is something that I kind of at the beginning of summer was already feeling. And so that's the stuff that I'm like looking for on Facebook. And Facebook does the confirmation bias too, because then it shows you a bunch of similar things.
Yes.
So I found the Colonial Gardens one on Facebook, but then there's a bunch of restaurants that do live music. Yeah. And stuff like that. Like almost any day you could find it if you want.
I love it. I love that one. My first in is sunscreen. I have decided I cannot beat the sun. I think that I figured that out when I was like 23. I feel like that was like the last time I got a really terrible sunburn. But now every time I'm going outside, I'm putting it on my shoulders. I'm putting it on my chest, especially with being pregnant. I am slathering my belly up, like, because I'm so terrified of getting a sunscreen on my belly and then having that grow and stretch and be like, oh my God.
It's painful.
But yeah, I feel like it would be so painful. But I have yet to get a sunburn this summer. And I've been in the sun a lot.
Yeah.
And I am getting very freckly, but no sunburn. And I'm also putting on a moisturizer with sunscreen on it every single day, which we all should be doing anyway. But it's a step I often skip. But I'm not skipping it this summer.
Yeah.
I'm putting on sunscreen every single time. Yeah. And I'm also putting it on my hands.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to keep these hands.
Tops of hands and tops of feet.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Be easy to forget, but they're so painful.
Yes. Tops of feet sunburn are awful. Because then you have to wear shoes still every day. It's terrible. So yes, that is my biggest in this summer. Sunscreen everywhere. All the time.
I love that one. I think it's such a good one. And I know that both of us were kind of bad about when we were younger about wanting to like get tan, which we don't really, but we would just let ourselves burn so that we could get like a shade darker. And then but it's so painful.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it.
Yeah. I feel like that's just a kid's thing too, is like.
Totally.
Like you don't want to put on the sunscreen because you want to get in the pool, or you want to, like when you're a teenager, you want to be tan like your friends. And tanning, that was never a thing for us. I did decide, a parent hack of mine, once I have my child and she's like 3, is that I'm going to put the sunscreen on her before we even leave for the pool.
That's what I've been doing this summer.
Really?
when I meet you guys at the pool, I've been putting on my sunscreen at the house.
That's true. I'm always like, do you need sunscreen? You're like, I already got some on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then usually, because you have to reapply every like 2 hours or whatever, and then usually I do that at the pool. But I love that I think I do think it's kind of like a hack because then you're not sweaty already. And
Yeah.
You're not wet.
I just feel like with kids, like they just want to get in the pool
Yes.
immediately. And that's why it's so difficult to put the sunscreen on the kids.
Yes.
And it's like so difficult for the kids to want to put on sunscreen because they're like, you're wasting my precious swimming time.
Yes.
And I totally get that. So I'm just going to do it before we even leave the house.
Yep. I love that. My next one goes with that is the pool.
In general?
Yeah. So Inns is going to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for making that possible.
Of course.
Bailey, I've been going to Bailey Mason's neighborhood pool with them a lot.
We love it.
And the reason I'm putting this though, because it seems like, oh, that'd be obvious or whatever. The reason I'm putting this is because like we were talking about this the other day that you were at home and you were like, I'm going to go to the pool. And then you were just sitting there at home and then you were like, I could just be doing this at the pool.
Yeah.
And I like being outdoors and I like being hot and I like the sun.
Yes.
And whatnot. And when you're at the pool, you can cool down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But my default is to just sit around home. Just because that's what you do like in the other seasons. You know?
Exactly.
You just sit around the house or you do whatever around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been noticing that whenever pretty much any given time that I would want to go to the pool, you guys are already there. So it has,
or we're like, yep, down to go.
yeah. So it has pretty much worked out almost every time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I feel like I guess my in is the pool and kind of like an out to go with it is like just sitting in the AC doing nothing.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, that time that I did go to the pool really early is because we were all going to go, well, me, you, and Mason.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go at like 4 or something, and it was like 11. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. I might as well just go and do this at the pool. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I finished half my audiobook while I was there. And I was
What?
like,
That's
yeah. No, I loved it. My second in is going to be sundresses. So I feel like I always want to be a dress girl, and I'm just not. Like, I'm very much a shorts and t-shirt girl. But I feel like it's extra cute with being pregnant.
It is.
And like I love a good flowy dress. So I really want sundresses to be in.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I have fancy salads on my list. So I have been really enjoying just getting a bunch of like fresh ingredients and making new salads.
Yeah.
Like not your basic bitch type of salad, you know? And so I've really been enjoying that. But I don't know why. Just recently I was kind of like going back through some of my old reels and I really liked filming myself like doing recipes.
Yes.
So I was like, maybe I'll go back to that. So I was kind of like, okay, fancy salads is an in for me. And then honestly, another in might be recording them.
Dude, heck yeah. Did you used to do like what you were eating every day? Like for breakfast at least?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I remember you would do it really often and you had stopped and one of my friends was like, is Morgan not doing that anymore? I always liked watching what she was doing. And I was like, I don't really know what, like if she is or isn't.
I
but
think that
you would have a fan base.
Yeah, I think my attention has just veered to other things.
Yeah.
But like I still do all of those things that I was doing then.
Just don't record them anymore.
I just don't really record them, but I was like, I had fun doing that. Like I honestly genuinely enjoyed it and it wasn't like a pressure, like I wasn't doing it for anybody but myself, but
yeah.
I was like, I don't know, I always think this when I make a reel for our podcast that I'm like, I actually really like, this is like a creative outlet that I enjoy.
Yeah, I know, which is so nice that you really enjoy that because that overwhelms me so much. But speaking of recording things, I want to have an in of mine to be just casually posting on Instagram. So we've talked about this a couple times about how I feel like posting is scary and I get really like anxious about it. And even since we've made our podcast, I've made more posts on Instagram. Now it's been like 3 or 4 in a year, but like that's more posts than I was doing previously because I was really nervous to post and just like, what if I didn't get enough likes? What if people thought I looked different? What if, like, I don't know, just really scared of judgment. But I really want to get into casual posting because I think it's fun. I love seeing what other people are doing. We have a podcast where like marketing is a big part of it. And like, I feel like I kind of came to the realization that and we might take this part out, but this is true. I came to this realization that if people are not interested in me, then why would they be interested in listening to the podcast for like when I'm posting it on my story and stuff like that? I was like, if they don't care what I'm doing or what I have to say, why would they listen?
Yeah.
So I was like, I do want to like start showing people who, because all of our immediate friends and family And those people, they all listen.
Yeah.
So like the people who know us and love us and are in our lives, they all listen. So I'm like, I just need other people to like get to know me without, you know what I mean? Like
I like
cyber,
it,
yeah, whatever. But I really want to get back into that. And I also think it will continue helping me break the cycle of feeling really nervous and feeling really scared of judgment and things like that.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
We'll see how it goes.
My next one is using my time off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like summer's the best time to do it. You can, like, that's the best time to take a day off and do a pool day.
Yeah.
Or take a day off and go to an afternoon show or like something. I don't know. It's just summer is, I want to like use my time off in that season.
Yeah.
Obviously other seasons are good too, but I noticed that there are more things that I would want to do actually during the day in the summers than in the other seasons.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's nice in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be outside. No, I love that. My next in for the summer is pedicures.
Ooh.
I've always been someone who I have my toenails done, and I'm so sorry. I say this all the time. I'm just always talking about being pregnant. But with being pregnant, it makes it really hard to do your toenails.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to squeeze my body to where I can get to my toenails. I'm not kidding. It's really like if you were like put a basketball right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, you can't really bend over it. Yeah. And it like hurts your muscles. And I'm like, oh my God. So I want that to be a thing where I get monthly pedicures or something like that. I did find a place that charged, it was only like $30 or something for a pedicure, and they did the whole shebang.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna go back there.
Nice.
I'll figure out what the place is called and let you guys know. But
yeah, I know you don't like my place, but I like to go there because if you spend $40, which is like the next level, not the basic one, but like the second level up pedicure is exactly $40. If you spend $40, they give you a drink. So
that is nice. I don't need a drink right now.
Yeah.
But that is nice. Yeah, I just didn't like them. They missed my pinky toenail.
Yeah.
During my pedicure.
I don't blame you. What my last in that I have is reading things I can watch. I've been realizing that
Ooh.
I really want to focus on this in the summer because I've been realizing that when we make these lists, the ins and outs or bucket lists or whatever, I try to think of things that I'm always saying, like, oh, I should do that. I should do that. And, and I just never get around to it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to intentionalize this. But I really want to, this summer, I won't only read these books, but read books that I can watch as a movie afterwards.
Yeah.
Or read
a show.
books that are a show. Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, my friend Kristen kind of gave me this idea because we're going to read, oh, I don't remember what the book is called.
I wonder if we're going to try to find the same book.
Oh, really? I have it on hold at the library, so I can literally look it up. But
is it about to be a TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it about lying or something like that?
Yes. In the summer. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Hold on.
Every Last Lie or like something like that.
Oh,
it's not that.
I remember.
But she gave me the idea because she was like, hey, do you want to watch this? Or do you want to read this and then watch it together? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Oh.
We Were Liars.
We Were Liars. Yes. Yes. I was just going to tell you to watch this. I read this book several years ago. It was so good.
Oh.
Such a good book. And it's like in the summer. So like based in the summer. Oh, you're going to love it.
Yay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that gave me the idea that this summer I need to make like a list, but of options for that because I really like the idea of reading something and then watching after. And at the beginning of the year, one of my 2025 ins was TV watch parties.
Yeah.
And I haven't really had a TV watch party because I haven't really been watching TV shows. But I was like, this could be that if I read a book like alongside somebody and we watch the thing together, the movie or the TV show or whatever.
Oh, that'll be so fun. That's so funny. I was literally, while you were talking about that, I was going to try to find that book, but I couldn't remember what it was called. And I kept thinking, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not it. I think it's like a horror book.
I think so too.
Movie already. But okay, I love that. I'm really excited for you to read that and for me to hear everything about it. Because I read that so long ago, but I actually remember that I was so close to finishing it and we were having a party that night and I stayed upstairs instead of going to the party for like 45 minutes because I wanted to finish the book. Isn't that funny? Well, my last in is along the same lines, kind of, but Love Island. I'm loving Love Island right now. I've watched Love Island for a while, and I've watched a lot of different seasons. I've watched UK, Australia, US, and things like that. But this Love Island season is so fun, and me and Mason are watching it together, which I love. But it's so hard to keep up with and like stay.
There's so many episodes.
There's literally
everybody's talking about it, and I'm just facing the fact that I'm gonna have FOMO because I can't even. Yeah, I just like can't get through TV shows right now.
I thought it was so funny when I told Jared they are on every night except for Wednesdays, and he was like, "What? So like 4 episodes?" And I was like, "No, 6." Like I'm talking every night. I'm not like not only weeknights, every single night. And luckily, one of the episodes, the Saturday episodes, are like interview episodes, so it's not really like the TV show content, so you can use that as catch-up day too. But I really think it would be so fun to stay up to date with it, keep watching it with me and Mason, because we watch it like every night as we go to bed, which I'm loving because I need to go to bed kind of early now. And again, me talking about being pregnant. But yes, I love it, and Love Island is on my in.
Love that. Do we want to move on to outs, or do you have any more ins?
The only other in I had was water. That is going to be a huge in of mine, is water.
Yeah, I love how you're like sunscreen, water, like just focusing.
Yeah.
But hey, you gotta, if you want to make something happen, you gotta be intentional about it. Okay, well, my first out was talking about bodies.
Yes.
So I've realized, summer I feel like is a time when everybody's thinking about their bodies. They're thinking about everybody else's bodies.
I was going to say you're seeing bodies constantly. Seeing bodies. It's marketed to you constantly.
Yes, on social media, in person, everybody's wearing fewer clothes. So obviously you're seeing more bodies. But I don't want such a focus on bodies. And I've been thinking about this a lot as like you're having a little girl, and just in general, a lot of my friends are having kids, and thinking about this next generation, and that I don't want them to be obsessed with bodies. I mean, I guess they're not my kids, so whatever. If you want your kid to be obsessed with bodies, fine. But I guess what I'm saying,
there's judgment for me if you do. So,
but I guess what I'm saying is that I want to model it well, and even saying like positive things. Like telling someone like, "Oh wow, you look really skinny," or like you were, which isn't even necessarily a positive thing, but saying like, "Oh my gosh, you're," I don't know.
I can tell you've lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, or like, "Oh, your butt looks great," or like things that I know I would say. Like I would say that. I'd be like, "Oh my god, your boobs look amazing," or "Your boobs look huge." We were talking about that because pregnancy,
they're huge.
But like your boobs look huge or something like that. Like I don't know when I say that, what that person, how that feels to them.
Or how they got there.
Yeah. And if they like it, if they don't like it, if they're insecure about it, whatever. But all that to say that I want to think about it less. And again, like with the brain and confirming what you already are doing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I want to think about it less myself, but I also don't want to model to other people that that's such an important priority or whatever.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I just want to stop talking about bodies in general. I want to say things like I do want to compliment people still. So I want to be able to say something like, "Wow, you're looking really healthy," or like something like
you're
that.
glowing, or
you're glowing, and I can still say like, "You look great," without specifically talking about somebody's body.
Yes.
But
I completely agree with that. I get really nervous about that one because I had a friend who had lost a bunch of weight, but it was really unhealthy. Like she was straight up like not eating, really depressed, like just going through a horrible time in her life. And I remember she had posted on Instagram a picture of herself, and all the comments were about how good she looked and how she looked like she had lost so much weight. Oh my God, like I'm so proud of you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, she's the unhealthiest she's ever been right now. And I remember being mad that everyone was commenting on her body, because I was like, I don't want her to think that this is good. Like the way she was losing the weight was not good. She was so unhealthy. She was so unhappy. And I just think those are one of the things where you don't know what's going on in other people's lives and like how they're losing the weight. If it's intentional, if it's not, like there are people who lose a bunch of weight because they're sick. And like that's like, oh, thank you for saying that I look really small. I'm actually really unhealthy right now. Like, I'm actually kind of dying right now, but like, thanks, I guess. Or like, I know people who have lost a bunch of weight and they get constantly complimented on it, and then they gain weight back, and they've noticed that the love is gone.
Yeah.
And like, so it's just this weird thing where I'm like, I do feel like it is a hard subject because you do want to compliment people. Like when I lost a bunch of weight, I liked when people noticed.
Yeah.
And I liked talking about it or whatever. But it is like one of those hard things where you just have to figure out how to walk the line and figure out like how we're talking about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I even just think like not talking about bodies or focusing on it is good. Because my first out was going to be complaining about my body. I know you and I were talking about this whenever I was at the pool, and I was like, I'm going to try to really work on it, especially since we are having a girl. And I do feel like I'm pretty kind to myself, but I'll have days where I'm like, oh my God, like you gained 5 pounds, or like, oh, I'm feeling so fat today, or like, just things that you say that I know it doesn't mean that I hate myself, but I just felt like I would never want my daughter to say those things or think those things about herself, especially because it's so unimportant. And so I'm going to really start trying, because I do feel like it's going to be kind of a hard shift for me of just like not complaining about my body. But I like how you're taking it a step further and just like not talking about it, not mentioning it. And it's hard to do when we go into the summer.
It is really hard. Yeah. And I was going to say, I mean, obviously we have like a whole weight loss episode.
Yeah.
Like, we both care about being a healthy weight.
Yes.
But also like getting there a healthy way. And we do both care about those things. And I do. Fact of the matter is that when someone tells me like, oh wow, like you look so thin, it is something that I like as well. But what I'm trying to get to is where I don't care that much about.
Yes.
Like I wish it didn't make such an impact on me as someone who said like, oh, you're looking really thin. Which honestly could be bad. I don't know. But like when someone's saying like, oh wow, you're so little or something like that, like that does make me feel really good, but I don't really want it to make me feel really good. I don't want to have the mindset that being little or skinny or thin or lightweight or whatever, like that any of that is an important thing in life. It's not. It's not. Like I do think being healthy, I care a lot about that.
Yes. I was going to say, like, with our weight loss episode, I feel like we focused less on how we looked and how we felt.
Yes.
Like, or less on how we looked and more on how we felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yes. And I think it matters to be healthy, and I think it matters to feel good. But I don't think it matters what you look like. So
I agree. Have you heard the saying that's like, my body's the least important thing about me?
Or it's interesting.
Interesting. Yes. My body's the least interesting thing about me. I like that. I feel like that's a good... It is hard though. It's going to be a huge mindset shift. Like I was like, I have to start now because I guarantee it'll take me 2 years. Yeah. Like, and when she's 2 is about the time like she'll start really noticing things and like picking things up. So I'm like, gotta start now.
Yeah. Kind of a deep out, but definitely my first out.
A big one though.
Was definitely the first one that came to mind for me.
Yeah. My first one was commenting or complaining about my body. Yeah. So yeah.
My next one is drunk door dashing.
Ah!
I'm not the one instigating this. I don't even have DoorDash on my phone
anymore.
But no, I never had it.
Shut up. That's so funny.
No. And I've never had DoorDash on my phone. But obviously like when I drink, if I'm just drinking at home, and usually it's not just like, oh, I decided I'm going to drink tonight. It's more like we had an event and I had a couple drinks and then I was like, I kind of want to keep the fun.
Yeah, keep it going.
I don't think it's bad, especially like on the weekends, whatever. Anyway, but lately Jared has been door dashing at like 10 o'clock or something like that. And it's never worth it for me. But yeah, so I'm saying on the outs, like I'm just making an intention that I'm going to say no if he does drunk DoorDash. And hopefully he just doesn't, because he's less likely to do it if I don't want anything.
Yes.
He's like, if I'm just like, no, I'm not going to get anything, then he's like, he's less likely to do it. But even if he does do it, it's never worth it. Doesn't feel good.
It always takes like an hour and a half anyway.
Takes way too long. They miss items half the time.
Every time. I'm like, why is this taking so long?
Yeah. So not doing that anymore.
I like that one. That's a really good idea. My out is sunburns. So my first in was sunscreen. My out is sunburns. I just want to avoid it at all costs.
It's a good one.
I really do. That is out.
Yeah. My next out is online shopping, which this is from my beginning of the year. But I want to take it in. I feel like, again, when the season changes, sometimes it makes me want to like buy new clothes, buy new shoes, things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to, I do not want to online shop. Like, I just don't want to be in that habit. So,
Yeah. You don't want to have like the pressure to change your whole wardrobe
yeah.
every summer.
Yeah.
I like that one. My out is not waiting on what's coming next. So, or like not focusing on what's coming next. I am really bad about this. I think this is something that Mason and I really struggle with, is when we finally get to the moment, it's like, okay, but what's next kind of thing. And I think like a big one for me that I'm already thinking about is like Halloween, for example. And I'm like, why am I thinking about Halloween in October when it's June?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try really hard not to do that and really try to like be more in the moment.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of my outs, I'm not saying I won't drink seltzers, but I have been realizing that I have so much more fun, and I think I pace myself better because I have to make them each time. But I have so much more fun when I make like a homemade cocktail.
Yes.
So seltzers are kind of on the out for me. But the reason is because I've been replacing them, like even just something simple, like I've been doing like fresh lemonade where I like squeeze the lemons, do a little packet of stevia, water, and then I do like a lemon liqueur or something like that. Or like Deep Eddy's lemon or something like that.
Yeah.
And it as like a little like cocktail instead. And I just find that the act of making it myself is so much more fun than just like popping the can open.
Yeah.
You know, like seltzers are really great for like tailgates or pool or something like where you have to take something to go. It's a lot harder to just make it.
But when you're at home.
But yeah, if I'm having like a drink on the patio or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even a mocktail. Like I always love making a mocktail more than I like drinking like a non-alcoholic Quirk or non-alcoholic White Claw or something like that. I love making like a mocktail.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm just saying that seltzers are out.
I love that one. I feel like I don't really have any more outs, which is so funny because I could only think of outs whenever we did our 2025 outs. Like it was so much easier for me. But I think because I'm looking so forward to the year or like to the summer and things that I want to do, I just don't really have any more outs that I can think of right now. So what are some more of your outs? I think you had a couple.
I only had one more out.
Oh, nice.
And it was literally just complaining. And I'm going to be honest, I had a little bit of a harder time doing outs as well. But I think at the beginning of the year, the reason it's a little easier is because you're already reflecting on the last year.
Yeah.
And maybe thinking about like, oh, things that I didn't do or things I did do, you know,
things
whatever.
you want to change.
Yeah. And we're not necessarily like this bringing on the summer is more like looking forward to things.
Yes.
You know, so
completely
so
agree.
It makes total sense. But yeah, my last out was literally just complaining because I feel like I've backslid a little bit on some of my mindset of like not complaining. And I just think that I do think that as the summer has started, I've been more mindful about it, but it's just something I want to be intentional about this summer.
Yeah, I almost put Sunday Scaries on mine, but I was like, just because you write it down doesn't mean it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think that the complaining part is the thing that I can control. So
yeah. I like it. Well, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see all the ins and outs we can do and just like having a really good summer.
Me too. Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, guys, let us know what your summer ins and outs are. Like we said, we'll put something on Instagram so you can make your list too. And we would love for you to share it with us, tag us. If you like this episode, please share it from either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever you watch it on. Please share it with others on your social media or directly like send it in a DM like, hey, we should share each other's ins and outs, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yes. Well, thank you guys for listening as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
yeah.
Cheers.